concept of Swift language basics. Okay, so let's get started. I hope you guys already installed Xcode. So we are now using Xcode now. I'm going to show write the code line by line by hand. So you feel free to follow me. Okay, I open Xcode and in the welcome page, we click get started with playground. By the way, the version is 11.3. Your version may be different than mine, but that's fine as long as you didn't got any issue in the code. Okay, let's get started with the playground. So in this window, you click on the Mac OS. We are not click iOS yet. We are using Mac OS right now. So click on the blank and click next. So you give it a name and choose where you want to save this file. We just give the name like 1, and I save on my desktop. I click create. Okay, so we delete everything here. Forget about the Coca thing. Delete everything here. So let's write our first hello world. Okay, let write, give it a var, W-E-R, and we give the name like A equal, and then we print as a tradition. Interesting here is that there is a little play button on the left, and you just click here. It will run immediately. Like there is no need to compare, but basically this is it's just like a Jupyter when you have a chunk of code and just click Shift plus Enter, and it will run that piece of chunk. The difference here is in Xcode is run everything above this part. So you can see that in the bottom there is hello world, and also in the right you can also there is this little icon. It's called show result, hide result. When you click here, it will show the result, the variable, the value is right below. Okay, so this is hello world, right? Okay, let's then talk about the basic types. There are 4 types. We will check this one by one. Okay, let's go out and hit. And how can we define the basic types? We give it and then we say it int equals 3, and we give it a float like 3.4, right? And maybe a double equals 5.03. The difference here is that we specifically we say the type is int. We can do like var like b equals 3. These 2 variables have the same type of int. However, by this way, we tell the system that this variable is an int, specifically by using this syntax: colon, space, and the type. Like I said, there are 5 types like int, float, double, full, and string, right? So we give one of these 5 in here. Then we tell the system it is this kind of type, right? So by this way, this is we call And by this way, also the example above is the system that automatically figure out the type was. This is called type inference. That is the system infer the type is to be what. To check that, there is a function called type of in Swift. You can just give the variable name and int, and you click the play here. See, it will show you that this is an int type. See, yeah, int type, and the type of b also the same. See? So we don't specify this variable is the int, but also the system from the value applied here, we figure out that this is also int. Right? We have a float. Float is just integer is only something like integer, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 1, minus 2. But float, it can have the decimal part, right? So what is the difference when we're using these two types? Let's make some experiment, right? So let's say we have we change this value to, okay, we use like use let's calculate 10 divided by b. We give the name called c. So what will be the result here? It's 3, right? So why is that? Basically, like if we change to 3, it's already the same. Because the system infers this to be an integer and this integer, and so the result will be an integer. And the integer cannot have the decimal part, so it should be 3.33, and just ignore the decimal part and change it to 3. So remember this thing. This is very crucially in your daily programming, because a lot of big mistakes can happen here if you don't care enough. So there are several of ways to fix this. Let me see. Let's see if we have. Let's see if we change this. That means c b equals 10. Wow. Okay. This is b plus b, right? So it is the same, right? And then, so if we specifically say d is the type of like float, you don't need to be double. Float is fine. And let's see what will change here. Okay, it says you cannot be applied to operator of type float and int. So b also has to be float. To let this work. And now you can see that the variable is 3.3331. Okay, so another way this is like maybe 3. You can change like the type of d. Let's say from int to double using the double mark, and we give this the bracket, and we put the d here. and divided double here, and put the B here, and then we give the one. Okay, it's also the same. Let's say we want to change the float into an int, right? It's also the same if we use int. Let's copy this here. So we want to change the float to int. We can also use this int bracket thing to change it. However, it's just like I said, it will discard the decimal part, right? And then the same as change from int to double, right? Which we already done here. Okay, clear? Let us make some review of the operation that we can have. We can have plus and minus, multiply, divided, and also we can have mod, right? What is mod mean? Turn mod 3. What's the one will be? It will be 1, right? So mod means you divided the first one by the second one. So 10 divided by 3 equals 3, and the remainder is 1. That's what the mod means. Okay, that's all for the int and double. And now we talk about string, right? So we already have a string in the very beginning, right? So we want to have a so how to define a string explicitly is the same like we define a string explicitly, but we give it a string and then we equal to like UTS, right? And now how can we how to connect to string about? So we can have a just minus. Oh, see. It says I invalid rate declaration, so you cannot copy this twice. So I just comment it out. So we can have these two things connect together. You see, it's just it's just a concatenated two things together. So how about we want to add a space in between this exclamation mark and the UTS? We just add something in the middle, right? There is one more space here. And how to add like a number, like say double or int type inside a string. Let's say we have the result. Let's say we have the B here, right? We want the D module D, right? We want to like yeah. We give the new variable named number equals to D module D. Module D equal to number 1, right? So we want add this number into this string. How to do that? So the way to do that is use the backslash and a bracket and put the number in it. And in this way it become a string, and I also add the quotation mark. right? It become a string. So we add this into the whole string. It just looks like this. We can just use the like a plus. Let's print. So let's type this in manually. We can just let's say hello world. BPS is a right? So we add this number inside the string by using this syntax. Okay, this will print hello world university is the number one university city. Okay. Any question? So now let's go to the final tab, which is bool. Bool is just a logic variable that indicates something is right or wrong, true or false. Let's say the door is open or closed, or the weather is cold or not, or the number is big or small. Just the two possible value that in between. So this we use this a lot in the program because we want to we sometimes want to give some behavior or action based on some condition. Let's say we want to give a user a reminder that if today is very cold, we want them to wear more clothes. But if it's not, just wear maybe a t-shirt. So the condition is represented by the bool value. Let's say how can we do that? Let's say we can declare a variable that called is bool, and we give it a value true, right? So this is the bool value, and it has only two possible values. One is true, one is false, right? So just the same as the above, we can give them this tag that explicitly says this. So this is just a sometimes we don't use this. It's just for convenience we just let the system figure out. But sometimes when it's not so clear, like something like how to say let's e equals 3. If you want this variable to be a double, you have to use this, right? Otherwise, the inference sometimes may not work. So either way is fine. We give it a variable like this, and there is another way to give the bool value to give the value is that instead we just give it a true or false. We want to give a condition and let the computer calculate whether it is true or false. Let's say we have a var called current temperature equal to 40, right? So we think if the temperature is less than 32 or maybe less than 30, it is cool. Otherwise, it is false, which means it's not cool, right? So we can use this way. We can give the in, and we can give the compare. Right? we can compare to 30. So this statement will give you either true or false, and in this case it is false because the current temperature is not less than 30. So this thing become false and get back to this variable on the left. Okay, we can check that now. So now the is cool is false. Okay, so now we are going to introduce. So with the bool value, we can write something like this statement is if sentence, like if cool equal true, right? We can print something to the user. It is very cold. Consider very strong. And else means it is false, right? Else that is not true, is false, means it's very hot, right? Greater than 30. So we print another thing. Okay. It's not that cold. Where t-shirt, right? So we give it a run. Well, it will show you that it will print out. It's not going to call wear t-shirt because the is cool is equal. It's not true. It's false because we gave it a condition. Yeah, yes. So Jack asked that is there like is there like need to check if equals 2, or is it left as is true would be still, yeah, it is. And in fact, it's more human readable, right? Thanks. Right? This way is also work. Right? It's just using equals true make you, explicitly realize the situation that is true is the bool, and we compare it to true, false. And also we can change this is true just with this statement. This is also work. Let's try. Right? So if direct compare here. So I just want to get know here that any comparison like A greater than B, or A less than B, or A equal to B, this kind of comparison always give a bool value that is true or false, like this one, right? And you can store it in a meaningful way, right? So we just give it this way. It's not as cool as, from a human perspective, it's not more readable than this sentence. This is more read like a natural English, right? If it's cool, do something. Else, do something. We don't need any programming language being able to read this. But if you read this thing, it makes a little harder, and if we read more and more sentence, so it's always it's always a good idea to give it a meaningful name here. Okay. Okay, let's give you guys access to check if you are following up. You want to write a if statement and to check if the number, let's say if a number, what will we write here? I want to print the result would be what I want to print this sentence like the number 1 to 1 is a O, right? And if it's an even or like 32 is an even. I want you to write a condition clause to print exactly the same the thing here, include the number and the different string, the statement. Calculate the modulo 2 if equals 1. Yes, it can work this way. Let me check. Yes, no problem. So we have covered this string, bool, int, double, and we didn't talk about type safety and constant. It's very simple, but I will just show you before we go to the array. Let's go back here. So right now we are all using variable, right? Variable is a name which have some value, the different value type we have just talked about. But there is another kind of variable is called constant, and the keyword for that is called light. What do I mean by that? So I can say a light, let's say a value equals, which is int, equals 10, right? So it's basically the same as var. It's expect that I cannot change it. See? There's the error, right? So you click it, it says you cannot assign to value. A value is a let constant. Change let to var to make it mutable. Yeah, it's kind of like final, yes. But I'm not quite sure because I'm not expert on Java. Sorry. So you fix it. Yeah, it's like a constant. The concept is constant by itself. The constant. Sorry. Constant. Oh, I mean variable. Although it's a little kind of confusing because we call all this variable, and actually only this thing is variable. This is constant. But in daily programming, we talk with each other. All the things are variable in the coding, right? You know that. So basically, this is the variable that cannot be changed. So it's called constant in Swift, and you declare it by using a let. Yeah, it's not. You cannot change it. It's when you initial it, you give the value, and once set, that's it. That's forever, right? You cannot change. That's the only constant double. That's the only difference about these two things. Other than that, everything is fine. Answer is the same, right? So you double int, double bool, or string a constant. Yeah, you can use it with any type you like, but anything you after you set you cannot change. You cannot change anything at all. Like what we just said, add something to the UTS is not gonna work. Sorry, it's gonna work. Sorry, it's gonna work because it is a new custom. But what if we? Okay, I'll show you this way. We want to change it to UTS. It's not gonna work. Right? So we want to change this to false. It's not gonna work neither. Okay. So this 3 line of code will not work. Right? Clear? So that's the only difference from var to custom. And the other thing we call it called type safety, which is also a bit different, which is the big difference between Swift and other language, is that even use like say an integer use like 42. Let's declare an int, right? So no matter what I declare it, we declare this way is more clear. And then we want it to change to double. It will not work. Or we want it to change to full value, string, or string. It will not work. Neither of these three will work. It's not changeable. Yeah, this time is not. To see, I want you to know the difference. So the light is not changeable after you set it to the value, but everything, including var, in Swift, even if it is a var variable. So no matter it's a variable or light, once you give it a type, you cannot change it to another type. Right? Remember the way that we change the type using this syntax, int and the bracket, double bracket. That is cast it into another double, but give it a new variable. It's not change the variable itself. I'll show you what this means. So let's say we want it to change this thing to double. We can do that by using double. Yeah, this will work. This will change this thing to double. However, that is a new double var. That is create a new variable. The new variable type is double, and it converted from the int that we created earlier. But however, the int is not changed. It gives the new variable the double type. I'll show you this. So after this thing, you can see we check the type of it. We can check the type new double var. It will show the type of it is double, right? So this thing is double. However, this is still int, and you cannot change it this value. The int will always be int, no matter what you set it. Actually, you cannot set it, right? And this is different. from Python. You know that? So in Python or other language, I can't remember Java, but in Python, basically everything is a pointer. You can point anything, and you can change to anything, right? No matter what kind of its object is the basic value, no matter what. It's very freestyle. But in Swift, it's very strict. So the benefit of doing this is also as the same, right? So why we are using a light, we don't want others to mess up with our code, because some values are meant to be fixed, meant to be constant. So if we use it as var, even if it's the same when everything goes okay, but if not everything goes okay, someone messed up, you or yourself messed it up by changing the variable to something else, the Swift will not tell you if you use var. But if you use light, the Swift, and when you want to change this thing, see, when you want to change this thing, there will be an error, and by error, I mean that the program will not work, and it will drag your attention to this thing. Okay, you will know that you write a mistake, you write a bug, and then you can fix it. It helps you to debug. That's the point. And also the type safe. So you don't want to mess up with the variable type. And in 99% of the time, you do not want to change it. If you do want to change it to a new type, you give it a new name, which is more manageable in the long term. Okay, I think I covered all of this. We want to introduce the process control, which is a fancy word of like int and for loop. So we want to introduce for in loop now. I think it's for I in, let's say we want to count from, okay, very simple, print 1, 2, 3, 4 to 10. Okay. It's very intuitive in Swift that we just basically literally copy this thing, except we remove this and put it here. See? Why? Okay, there is something wrong here. Okay, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10 printed on here. And this triple dot means inclusive, like from the left to the right, include the right, which is include 10. And if we change it to, let's say, if we change it to dot less than, this is another way called exclusive loop, that from the left to the right, but not include the most right element. And we try this time. See, it run 9 times and print the value from 1 to 9. So this is very intuitive way from, I would say, from the other language, right? You just basically write the normal English and just delete something and put it into the language here. Right? This is the two kind of for loop. And there is another one. You know how to write for in loop in other language, right? Let me show the documentation. So Swift documentation. So by the way, when you guys learn by yourself afterward, this is the only resources you should be referred to, because the latest Swift version is 5.2, and out there in the internet, because Apple updates this language very frequently, more than any other language. So a lot of material online are already outdated, and especially the basic syntax is not going to work or has something wrong, which if you follow, you will get very frustrated. I would too if I am beginner. So just go to this link. In this link, you can see you can check the different things here. We just cover the basic operation string, and now it's control flow. So you see control flow is for loop. And, you see, use the half open range operator is dot dot less than to include the lower bound but not the upper bound. See, this is the difference, and this is the yes. The triple dot called close the range operator. Yes, this is the difference. Clear? So in this, I think it's more simple if I say here. So dot 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 means you loop from 1 to 10 include 10 in this example, right? And dot dot less than means you loop from 1 to 10, but not include 10. Okay? Okay, I think this is more simple than the Apple document, right? However, how can you make backward or increment by more than one each iteration? This is very simple in other language, right? We want 1 to maybe 10, but every time we step is 2. Like we want to loop through like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, right? Oh, this is step. All we want from 10, like 9, 8, 7, 1, right? So in this time, in this way, the step is 2, right? But in this way, the step is -1, right? This is very a basic concept in other language. How do you do that in other language? Let me find you an example. Okay, I found one. This is not for Swift, sorry. So I think most of you, if you learn C, this is the syntax in C. This is the for loop that we already familiar with, right? For init, condition, and increment, right? So init is like I equals 0. Condition is like I less than 10. By the way, less than 10 is just equal to this, right? Less. That's why the less operator. And I plus plus, right? Everyone is okay with this follow? This is like 101 in C language that with the first hard thing we know. But however in the Swift, they 2 minutes. This is to simplify the things. If we only want to increment by 1 and from the minimum to the maximum, so they simplify the syntax to say something like this. This is very good. This is very intuitive. When we want to make something complex, we encounter a problem because we really want this complex syntax, which is more powerful than we can write anything we want. So just like the question in here, ask, the Apple have to invent a new way to do this, which is totally different than this. It's called strat. So this thing is equal to called strat. Strat is from and to and by. You see, this is just you see the similar here, from I equals 0 to blah blah blah, and by plus plus, right? So it's very exactly the same structure, but to be made is more readable and made a new name. They change this thing into this thing in Swift. So if you want to do something customized loop, you do things like this. For I in Stripe, Stripe 2, right? Stretchable from like 0 to 10 by 2. Sorry, 2. Let's print this out. See? See? 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay? Have you tried that in your Xcode? It's called strike, from to by. And we can also do that the opposite way, like from 10 to 0 by -1. Let's see what will happen this time. See? 10, 9, 8, 7, 9, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this 2, this time is exclusive. It not include this one. See? This time is not print out 0, and in the above example, it's not print out the 10. Okay? Everyone is clear? Let's do access. I want you to loop to 1 to 1000 by steps of 3, and print out the number that can be divided by 7. So that would be like, we want to loop through 1, 4, 7, right? Blah blah blah. You loop through this thing until the something, and loop through thing and print out that can be divided by 7. So 7 can be divided by 7, of course. So you want to print out 7. Just print 7, and any number can be divided by 7. That's it for today. I will see you next time.